folks, hope all is well. We're going to use our foam rollers on and off throughout our class today. So you're going to keep your foam roller handy near you. If anything bothers you in this class, as per normal, I just want you to leave it out. It won't be very long before we move through that section of the class. Be careful of your space, so just be mindful of what's around you. Make sure that there's nothing that you're sort of going to hit, and enjoy the session. Feel free to stop the video and roll yourself out a little bit more. Reminder that you actually have these classes for 7 days, so feel free to do the classes as many times as you like, or maybe even just components of the class. If you think, oh, that bit felt really good, I might just spend 10 minutes doing Pilates today, and I'm just going to fast forward until the bit where we're on our stomach or our side or whatever it may be, whatever feels good for you. So they're available for 7 days. Feel free to use them as much as you like. We're going to start lying on our foam roller. We're going to start head at one end, hips on the other end. If you prefer to be on the mat here, feel free to do so, that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you're going to get down on your roller. Be careful as you go down. Make you line yourself up, make your feet nice and straight. You can even do that before you go down so that you know that they're nice and straight. And then use your hands to walk yourself down. Or if you're up for the challenge, you can just go down without using your hands. Head is on the opposite end. You may want to bring your feet a bit closer depending on how you're feeling today. Going to bring that chin up off of your chest, so you've got that nice little gap between your chin and your chest. And we're going to start hanging in our goalpost position. So we've dropped our arms out to the side, and we're just giving ourselves a nice stretch to the front of our chest. We're going to take some nice big deep breaths while we're here. We're breathing in through our nose if we can, and we're breathing out through our mouth. And as you take those nice big deep breaths, you might feel your forearms and your arms just start to drop a little bit further down towards the ground as you get that nice stretch. If you're taking those nice big deep breaths, your ribs should be moving for me. So you should feel your ribs lifting towards the ceiling. You should feel your ribs coming out towards the side. And you should also feel your ribs just gently pushing onto the foam roller. Arms might be starting to drop a little bit further. If they're not dropping further, don't overthink it. It doesn't matter, but you might feel them dropping a bit further as you relax into that chest stretch. We're going to take our elbows. We're going to slide them into our waistline. So you're going to get a little bit of a different stretch. So just bring them towards your waistline. You don't need to get into your waistline. And again, just hang there. Let everything stretch out. Still taking those nice big deep breaths. Then we're going to change again. We're going to slide our hands up further towards our head. If this position bothers you, just go back to normal goalpost position. Otherwise, you've taken your arms further above your head. And again, you might just feel your body starting to relax into that stretch. Big deep breath still, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Okay, bring your hands back to the goalpost position. You're going to bring your arms down to your side. And we're going to come off of our rollers now. So you're going to gently roll to one side. You're going to push your roller out from underneath you. You're going to lie flat down on your mat. And you're going to relax. Should feel good after being up on your roller. Okay, next thing you're going to do is lie down and bring your arms down by your side. And before we do anything else, we're going to do what's called a little body scan. So you're going to start at the top of your head. And you're going to think about what's touching the mat in your body and what isn't touching the mat. So as you think about shoulders, ribs, even down through your arms, what's touching and what isn't touching, how much of your body is connected to the mat. Down through your lower back, how does left side feel compared to right side? Just give it a bit of thought. My right side feels higher than my left, so I'm thinking my right's probably tighter than my left. That's not unusual with some of the things I do in my day-to-day life. Down through the hips, what's touching, what isn't touching, and right down to your feet. How do your feet feel? What's touching the mat and what isn't touching the mat? Okay, we're going to do some diaphragmatic breathing here. So I'm going to get you to place one hand at the base of your rib cage and put one hand on your belly for me. So you're going to breathe with your bellies. So you're going to breathe in, and as you breathe in, you're going to feel your belly lifting up underneath your hand. And then as you breathe out, you're going to feel your belly dropping. Okay, so you breathe in. Feel that belly lift, breathe out, feel the belly dropping. So just gently lifting and lowering with the belly. We know that this movement's created with our diaphragm. Our diaphragm lifts and lowers in the base of our ribs. It lowers down to allow room for our lungs to fill up with air, and then it pushes back up and helps to push the air out of our lungs. So as it drops down, that's the movement you feel when your belly lifts up underneath your hand. And then as the belly drops back down, the diaphragm's going back up into the bottom of the rib cage and pushing the air out of your lungs. So you're going to do 2 more breaths like that. So as your diaphragm goes down, it pushes on your internal organs and it moves them around. That's the feeling underneath your hand. When your belly lifts, your internal organs are being pushed around and they're actually getting a nice little massage as a result. And down. We're going to bring your arms down by your side. We're going to reach your fingers right down towards your toes. So that draws your shoulders away from your ears. Shoulders are still broad and wide. You haven't let them curl forwards, but you've reached your arms long. Take a moment to think about how your rib cage feels on the mat. You should have all 12 ribs roughly touching the mat. I want you to keep that connection. You're going to take a breath in and breathe out to float both arms straight to the ceiling. Nice, long arms for me. And then you're going to bring them back down to your mat. So you're going to inhale, breath first. Exhale to float both arms to the ceiling. Nice, long arms for me. And then bring them back down to the mat. We're going to do one more like that. Inhaling first. Exhale to float both arms to the ceiling for me. And then bring them down. We're going to move into scissors next. So inhale, breath first. Exhale to float both arms to the ceiling and pause. Let one arm come further above your head and the other one to your side, and then bring them back to the ceiling and change them over. So you're going to scissor your arms forwards and backwards in your own time. You're taking your focus back to your ribs. They're still, they're not moving. Back ribs stay connected to the mat. Front ribs stay funneled down towards the pelvis. Arms are long, they're long and they're straight. Try not to bend your elbows. You've got one more on each side. Nice long breaths to match your movement. Last one here. When both arms get back to the top, you're going to pause. We're going to take them into windmills. So let's go right arm, take that above your head, bring your left arm down by your side. Arms go out towards the side, around in a semicircle, and then back up towards the ceiling. If this bothers your arms or your shoulders, you're going to go back to scissors or even just arms to the ceiling. Choose any one of the 3. Rib to hip connection remains the same. Breath pattern is matching your movement. When you get to the top, you're going to reverse the direction. Left hand, bring it above your head towards your ears. Circle your arms around and then back up to the top. Keep that pattern going for me. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. Rest of the body's nice and still. Rib to hip connection remains. Those ribs of yours, they're staying connected to your mat. Nice long breaths. We've got one to go. Circle the arms around. When the arms get back to the ceiling, you're going to pause and you're going to lower your arms all the way down by your side. You're going to have your arms down by your side and you're going to swivel your palms to the ceiling. If palms to the ceiling bothers your shoulders, you're going to swivel your palms down. You're going to stand firmly in your feet. You have even weight distribution across your feet. We're going to come into some pelvic tilts. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll your pelvis backwards and allow your spine to gently flatten into the mat. And then you're going to roll your pelvis forwards and let your back arch right up off of the mat. Gently roll backwards, allow the spine to flatten and open into the mat. Roll the pelvis forwards and let the back arch. So you're going to move through them in your own time, exhaling as you're rolling backwards, inhaling as you're rolling forwards. You're going to think about what's happening with your knees. Try and keep them nice and still for me. Still firmly in those feet. Shoulders nice and relaxed. There's no tension in your head, neck and shoulders. You've got one more in each direction. Gently roll backwards, allow the spine to flatten. Roll the pelvis forwards, let the back arch, and then rest in neutral. Moving from your wrists, you're going to swivel your palms down. We're going to go into bent knee fallout and we're going to do it in hip width, distance apart. We often do it with our knees and feet touching. We're going to do it with hip width. Hip width will be a little bit more challenging. Pelvic bones are going to stay still. Try not to let your hips move. You're trying to just move your leg. Left leg first. Take a breath in. Breathe out to let the left leg go out towards the side. Keep your right leg still and then pull it back to the center. Alternate legs. Right leg goes out towards the side, left leg's not moving. Pull it back to the center. So alternate sides. Work within the range that you can control. If you feel your hips tipping to the side, then don't go so far. If your opposite knee's wobbling around, then your hips are moving. Nice long breaths to match your movement. Exhaling as your leg goes out, and inhale to draw back in. Last one, make sure you finish with your right leg for me so that you're nice and even. And then pause in the center. Stand firmly again in those feet. Gently engage your arms into your mat. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. We're moving into a bridge. We're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to tip our pelvis backwards, and then we're going to slowly lift our hips right up off of the mat. Our feet are firm on our mat. Take a breath in at the top, and then articulate down through your spine. Breathe out as you come all the way down, and then allow your pelvis to roll through neutral. We're going to go again. Inhale first, gentle tilt back, spine imprints. Up you come into that nice long bridge and open up through your hips. Take a breath in there, and then slowly down. Breathe out all the way, nice long breath, and pelvis rolls through neutral. So you get a bridge in your own time. Things that you are thinking about are knees. You're gently pushing them out towards your second toe, and you're holding them there for as long as you can whilst you come back down. Feet, they're firmly in the mat. If you feel the insides of your feet starting to lift, your arches and your big toe are trying to come off the mat, then your calves trying to get in on the action. Ground those big toes for me. You want to get high enough so you get that opening through the front of your hips. You feel your glutes click on when you get that height. So there should be no crease in the front of your hips. So when you get right to the top, there is a straight line from your ribs to your hips down to your knees. We've got one to go. We're going to breathe in first, and as we breathe out, we're going to tip our pelvis backwards, and we're going to float up into our bridge. We're going to pause there. We're going to take a breath in, and we're going to breathe out to come all the way down. Nice long breath. Pelvis rolls through neutral. Rest at the bottom. Left leg, take it to the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your thigh. Pull your leg in towards your chest. You want to be getting a hamstring stretch here. You should feel it in the back of your thigh. We're going to add a neural floss. Pull your toes to your nose and point your toes to the ceiling. So you're going to flex and point your foot. If this bothers you, you're leaving it out and you're just focusing on the hamstring stretch. Otherwise, you're with me and you're doing both. Toes to nose, toes to ceiling. 2 more each way. Last one. And then relax the leg, place it back down onto the mat. Change sides. Right leg comes up. Interlace your hands behind your leg. Pull your leg in towards your chest and get that nice stretch through the back of it. Feel it in your hamstring for me. Okay, flex and point. Toes to nose, toes to ceiling. If this bothers you on this leg, you're going to leave it out. Otherwise, toes to nose, toes to ceiling, flexing and pointing the foot. Nice big deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. You've got 2 to go. Toes to nose, toes to ceiling. Last one, and then lower the foot all the way down. So you've returned your feet down onto the mat, and again they are hip width distance apart. You're going to take your hands, you're going to interlace them behind your head. Your ring finger and your little finger are on the base of your skull, and the rest of your hands are on the base of your neck. The base of your head and the bottom of your neck, top of your neck. Elbows are wide, so it's like you're trying to touch your elbows on the opposite side of the room. Feet are firmly on your mat. Take a breath in. Breathe out to lift your head, neck and shoulders up for me. Take your gaze down to the middle of your thighs, and then lower yourself all the way down. Inhale first. Exhale to lift. Gaze to the middle of the thighs. Nice wide elbows for me. And then lower yourself all the way down. As you come up into your chest lifts, your stomach, you're going to, your back will flatten into the mat. You're looking down towards the middle of your thighs. The gaze is important. Where your eyes go, your body will go. Nice long breaths to match your movement. You've got 2 to go. Inhale first. Exhale up you come. Gaze to the middle of the thighs and then lower yourself all the way down. You've got 1 to go. Inhale first. Exhale up you come. Lower all the way down. Bring your arms down by your side and turn your palms to the ceiling. Now, we're going to roll through a set of hundreds. There are lots of choices here. Hundreds is about pumping your arms up and down. Nice strong arm pumps. 5 pumps up, 5 pumps down. You inhale to pump up, you exhale to pump down. You're going to swivel your arms over. Body's to be still, so you're going to try not to let your body bounce around. Hundreds can be done with your head down and your legs down. That's perfectly fine. We want you to really focus on the arm pumps. Hundreds can be done with your head up and your legs down. Hundreds can be done with your legs in tabletop. The longer the lever, the more challenging. You can take your legs to the ceiling. You can drop your legs on an angle, but you must be able to maintain the imprint of your spine into the mat. When you feel your back lifting, that's where you back it off a little bit. You can play with those positions. You don't have to stick with one the whole way through. You could put your head down part way through if you're feeling it coming into your neck. You can also support your head with one hand and just keep pumping with the other arm. Any of those are perfectly fine. If hundreds is not for you today, then just leave it out. We won't be very long before we click through it. Or you may just do half the set. Okay, so arms are down by your side, palms are facing to the ceiling. Shoulders are broad and wide. Try and keep them that way through your series. Float one leg to 90 degrees. Tummy muscles, they are switched on and engaged. Take a breath in. Bring your second leg up to join it. Now, legs could be down, remember, if you prefer. Otherwise, breathe in, breathe out, lift your head, neck and shoulders up, look directly down to the middle of your thighs. You could stay here, or you can come with me and lengthen your legs. The longer the leg, the more challenging it'll be. Inhale to pump up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, pump down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 to go. Up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one, up, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower your head, neck and shoulders down. Hug your knees into your chest. Little massage of your spine on your mat. And turn your head for me. Turn your head from left to right. It's going to take any tension out of your neck. Okay, roll your spine the other way. If you're doing circles, or just going to left to right. If you're doing circles with your spine, go the other way. Otherwise, left to right is fine. Okay, stretch your legs out long and straight. Take your arms right over the top of your head. So you're in a nice long full body stretch. You're pointing your toes away from you. You've opened your palms. You're stretching your fingers. Then you're going to float your arms to the ceiling. You're going to bring them down, all the way down by your side. Okay, we're going to roll onto our side. So I'm going to get you to cradle your head in on your arm. So your arm is bent and your head is resting in on your arm. Now, if that bothers you, you could put a pillow underneath your head. Your arm could be straight if that's better. But I want you to have yourself right down on the mat. Knees are bent and your feet, they're roughly back in line with your hips. So you don't want your knees too far forwards. Feet in line with hips. Hands are going to come and rest on your hip, and then you're going to push your hip away. So what that does is stack your pelvis. So my pelvis went from being sort of tipped to being stacked. One side is directly on top of the other side. Chin's up off of your chest, so your gaze is across the room. Now you can keep your hand here, or you can put it on the mat. Sometimes keeping your hand there gives you feedback and helps you hold the hip there. If you put your hand back on the mat, make sure the hip stays in that position. Feet stay touching. We're going to the little clams. You're going to lift the top leg up off of the bottom leg, and you're going to lower it down. As you lift and lower that leg, your hip doesn't move. So you don't want to feel that pelvis tipping backwards. Your breath is matching your movement. Inhaling as you lift, and exhale as you lower. So you're just gently opening and closing the hip bone, trying not to let the pelvis tip backwards. You've got 3 to go. Gentle lift and lower. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower, and one more. And then lower the leg down. Stay there and stretch your top leg out long and straight. Pull your toes towards your nose. So when you pull your toes to your nose, so feel free to back it off and do it again, you'll feel the muscles in the back of your leg activate. Then lift your leg up towards the ceiling and lower it down. As you lift and lower your leg, remember your pelvis is nice and still. The lift isn't too high that you feel that pelvis moving. Breath is helping you. Inhaling as you lift and exhale as you lower. There's no movement through the rest of your body. You've got 2 to go. Lift and lower. And last one. And then pause. Put the leg down on the mat for just a second. If you want your hand on the mat for some stability, feel free. Otherwise, you can keep it on your hip. If you put your hand on the mat, it could just be a little fingertip touch, or it could be a flat hand, but you don't want your whole body weight in that hand. Okay, lift the top leg up for me and have your foot flex again. Then kick forwards with that flex foot, and then point your toe to take your leg backwards. As you bring your leg forwards, you've got an inhale breath. As you take it backwards, you've got an exhale breath. The leg is long. Float forwards, float backwards. It's like you're trying to scrape your heel on the opposite side of your room. Your breath is matching that movement of yours. Inhale as you glide forwards. Exhale as you go back. We're going to do 2 more. Bring it forwards for me. Take it backwards. And last one. When you get back in the center, you're going to lower your leg down and let it rest. You're going to bring your hand down on the mat for some stability, and you're going to stretch both legs out long and straight. You're going to bring those legs slightly forwards. So just a smidge forwards, not too much. A little bit of body weight into your hand now. You're going to turn your top leg so your knee has rotated to the ceiling. You're going to take your toes to your ankle. You're going to slide them to your knee. You're going to kick your leg up towards the ceiling, and you're going to flex your foot as you bring your leg down. So you go from your toes to your knee. You kick up nice and high. Lengthen that leg as you bring it down. So you're doing your hip openers. You're opening up through that hip joint. Your leg is long. Your breath is matching your movement. You're trying to keep the rest of your body nice and still, so try not to let everything else wobble around. We're going to do 2 more. Ankle to knee, kick up, and then lower the leg down. And last one, ankle to knee, kick up, and lower it all the way down. Rest for a second. We're going to flip you over to your other side, so you could roll over, or you're going to come with me and put yourself to the opposite end of the mat. I'm going to grab a sip of water. So we're going into clams first. So come down, cradle your head in on your arm for me. Again, if you prefer a pillow, you could have a pillow. Make sure your gaze is across the room though. So if you've got a pillow, make sure you don't curl forwards ready for a little nap. Bottom arms bent or straight, entirely up to you. Okay, feet, they're roughly back in line with your hips, so your knees are not too far forwards. Hand starts on your hip. Push your hip away. Create that space underneath your waistline and create your pelvis being stacked. Hand can stay on your hip or it can come on the mat in front of you. You can choose. We're starting with little clams. You're going to lift the top knee up off of the bottom knee, and then you're going to lower it down. As you lift your knee, inhale. As you lower, exhale. As you lift and lower that knee, not letting your hips tip backwards. If you feel them tipping backwards, you're not going to go so far. So you're just working within the range that you can control. Nice long breaths to match your movement. Inhaling as you lift your knee and exhaling as you lower. Rest of the body is nice and stable and it's still. We're going to do 2 more. Gentle lift and lower. And last one. And then pause. Stretch the top leg out long and straight and flex your foot so your toes have pulled towards your nose. Lift your leg up towards the ceiling and then lower it down. So again, you're working within the range that you can control. You shouldn't feel any movement through your torso. Your hips should be staying nice and stacked with one side on top of the other. Your waistline should have that little lift in it. Your breath is matching your movement. You're inhaling as you lift and you're exhaling as you lower. Nice and controlled through the rest of your torso. Nice long leg like you're trying to scrape your heel up the wall on the opposite side of the room. Let's do 1 more. Gentle lift and lower the leg down. Rest for a second. We're going forwards and backwards next. If you prefer your hand or want to try your hand on the mat, feel free. If you want to try your hand on the hip, feel free. You can move it around. Nothing's ever set in stone. Lift the top leg up with the flexed foot. Kick forwards towards me. Point your toe as you take that leg backwards. Inhale as you bring that leg forwards. Exhale as you take that leg backwards. Leg is really long. Glide forwards. Glide backwards. Hips are nice and stable. Let your breath assist you, gliding forwards, gliding backwards. Rest of the body is stable and still, keeping that length in that leg. So as you bring the leg forwards, try and scrape your heel on the opposite side of the room. As you go backwards, you're pointing your toes. Okay, let's do 2 more. Glide forwards, glide backwards, and last one. When you get to the center, Lower the leg down and let it rest. Bring your hand down on the mat in front of you if it's not already there. Stretch both legs out long and straight and bring them just slightly forwards. Just slightly forwards. A little bit of body weight into that hand, but not your full body weight. Turn your legs so your knee rotates to the ceiling. Take your toes from your ankle to your knee. Kick your leg up nice and high and then flex your foot as you bring it down. Ankle to knee. Kick up high, flex the foot as you bring it down. And just let them flow. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. Nice long breaths. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. So long leg. Slide the toes up the leg, kick up nice and high, and lengthen that heel as you bring it all the way down. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. Okay, 2 to go. Ankle to knee, kick up and down. And last one. And then pause at the bottom and rest. Okay, we're going to flip you onto your stomachs. We're going to go into our goalpost position and we're going to warm your spines up in extension, so in this manner. So hands are going to come wider than your mat. So you've got your forearms and your wrists out on the floor, a little bit wider than the mat. Shoulders are nice and relaxed and they're drawn away from your ears. So your shoulders are not up by your ears. Legs slightly together for me, bit of inner thigh engagement initially. Tummy muscles are switched on, so you feel your belly button lifting up off of the mat. We're going to come just to the base of our ribs first, just as we warm you up. We're going to take a breath in, you're going to breathe out to lift gently up just to the base of your ribs for me, and then slowly all the way down. There's no pressure in your forearms, your back muscles are doing the work. Breathe out as you come up, nice long necks for me, and then lower yourself all the way down. So I want you to think length from the crown of your head. So lengthen through the crown of your head as you come up just to the bottom of those ribs, and then you're lowering yourself all the way down. Again, your breath is matching your movement. Inhaling first, exhale, up you come, and lower down. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Breathe in first, breathe out to come up, and lower down. And last one for me. Inhale first, exhale, up you come, and then lower all the way down. Stay here, slide your arms above your head for me. Now your arms can be on more of an angle. They don't need to be directly up by your ears. If you can, they're directly up by your ears. If one arm is grumpy, rest that arm and just work with the opposite one. Okay, lift one arm up off of the mat for me, and then lower it down. Changing sides, lift the opposite arm up and lower it down. Working within the range that you can control. Shoulders are staying still, body is still. Don't worry about how high you're lifting your arm. Work on length for me. Lengthen those arms up and then lower it down. Nice long breaths. We're going to do 2 more on each side. Lift the arm, lower down. Exhale to lift. Okay, 1 more on each side. And lower. And last one. And then pause. Slide your hands underneath your forehead and let your forehead rest on your hands. If you prefer, you could actually turn your head sideways. Let your head rest sideways. It's up to you. Otherwise, forehead's resting on your hands. Shoulders are still nice and relaxed, so don't let those shoulders creep up to your ears. Hip bones are staying touching the mat, so we're not lifting our legs too high that our hip bones lift. Tummy muscles are engaged. Take a breath in. Breathe out to lift one leg up off of the mat for me. Make it really long, and then lower all the way down. Changing sides. Inhale first. Exhale. Lift that leg up, and then lower it down. Okay, you're going to alternate sides. As you lift your leg up and make it long, it's really long. You're trying to touch your toes on the opposite side of the room. And your breath is matching your movement. Breathing out as you lift that leg and breathing in as you lower it down. Last one here. We're going to do a couple of sets of doubles. So both legs at the same time. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Lift both legs up. Make them really long. And then lower them down. Inhale first. Exhale to lift. Lengthen through those toes and lower them down. Now the lift is not so high that you feel your body wobbling around, but that you feel it coming into your lower back. Make your legs long instead. Lengthen through them and lower, and you've got 1 to go. Inhale first, exhale, lift, and lower down. Turn your toes out to the side and your heels towards each other. So we're going to do some heel beats. When we do our heel beats, our legs stay long and straight. We're going to attempt to keep our bodies as still as we can, so we don't want too much bounce in the body. Tummy muscles are switched on, so you feel that little lift through your belly button. Take a breath in and breathe out to lift both legs up. Heels are in towards each other and start to tap, 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 tap. So nice, strong heel beats. Inner thighs and glutes should be working. Bodies as still as possible. Pause, engage to assist that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and lower those legs down. We're going to do another set. So just set yourself up. Abdominals are engaged. Shoulders are relaxed. Take a breath in. Breathe out to lift those legs. Turn those heels towards each other. And start to tap, 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 tap. Keep your breathing going. Nice and stable through that torso. Try not to bounce around too much. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and lower those legs down. Come up onto your forearms to me and prop yourself up on your elbows. Have one hand resting on top of the other. So little Princess Mary pose. Gaze is out in front of those hands, about another hand pace or so. Little lift through the hips and the tummy muscles so your abdominals are switched on. Moving into single leg kick. Body's nice and stable. Bend one knee, bring your foot to your bottom, pulse it twice for me. Lengthen the leg out long and lower them down. Changing sides. Foot to bottom, pulse twice. Lengthen long and lower. The knee should be elevated. In the pulse to the bottom, the knee should be elevated off of the mat. When you lengthen the leg, the knee should be elevated. That's going to help you engage the right muscle groups. So foot come to bottom, that is your hamstring curl. Your hamstrings are working. When you lengthen the leg out long, little lift of the knee, you get that lengthen through the front of the hip. Let your breath help you to do it. Breathe out as you pulse your foot to your bottom. Inhale to lengthen. One more on each side. Exhale, inhale. Last one, exhale, inhale, and lower. Let's go little child's pose stretch. So bottom back to heels. Arms in front if that's good for you. If it's not, put them by your side. Knees apart if you like to help you sink your hips back to your heels. And just a couple of breaths here. Breathe into the back of your rib cage for me, so nice big deep breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Okay, we've got one more breath. And relax. Okay, we're going to go into quadruped. And if you like, you can use your roller. You don't need to use your roller, it's not compulsory, but if you want to use your roller and challenge yourself a little bit, you're going to use your roller. So your hands are going to rest on your roller, and you still want your hands underneath your shoulders or your shoulders over the top of your hands. So you don't want to be out here, all right? Shoulders above hands. Knees underneath hips. Nice, strong, straight back. Gaze, looking out in front of your roller. Arms first. Take one arm out, lift it out in front of you, and then bring it down. If you prefer your hands in the mat, just put your hands in the mat and get rid of your roller. Alternating sides. As you take that arm out and lift it up, you're just lifting to the height you can keep your shoulders still. Breath is helping you. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. Your gaze is still just out in front of that roller to keep your head in line with your spine. Last one here. Okay, hands are going to stay on your roller. Toes. Slide one set of toes along your mat. Lift your leg up, but not too high that your hips twist. Bring your foot back down and underneath. So you're not going to get to quite lift. You're not going to be able to lift to the same height as you normally would without the roller because your hands are elevated. If you lift too high, you'll feel your hips twisting. We want to keep your hips still. You should feel the leg muscles working. So as you slide your leg out and lift, you feel your hamstring and your butt working. Now you might feel it more on one side than the other. If there's one side where you're not feeling it as much, they're probably not working as hard. So that might be the side that you're getting a little twist through your pelvis. Okay, pause. We're going to go into opposite arm and leg. Take a breath in. Breathe out to glide opposite arm and leg out. Bring them in with control. Changing sides. Opposite arm and leg go out. Bring them in with control. If you prefer to stick with singles, go back to singles. That's perfectly fine. Nice long limbs. Let your breath help you. Breathing out. Okay, we're going to do one more on each side. Opposite arm and leg go out with control. And bring them down. And last one. And then pause at the bottom. put your foam roller, let's go onto the left-hand side. So put your foam roller on the left-hand side of your mat. Come onto your normal quadruped position. So if you don't have your roller or you don't want to use your roller, you can do this without the roller. We're going to do a thread the needle stretch. So you're on all fours, pick up your right hand, put it behind your left hand and your hand on the roller. If your roller wasn't there, you're just going to go palm up and slide the arm. Then if you're using your roller, you're going to roll the roller away, and you're going to bring your ear down towards the mat, and you're just going to hang there. You're going to stay there and stretch for a few moments, a couple of nice big deep breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to do 2 on each side. So bring the roller back in a bit and come halfway back into your quadruped position. And then go again. Slide the roller through, ear comes down to the mat, hang there and breathe. Nice big deep breaths. And then bring it back. Okay, take your roller to the opposite side. Come onto quadruped. Pick up your left hand. Put it behind your right arm with your palm down. If you're not using the roller, your palm is just up. And then roll the roller away and bring your ear down to the mat. And breathe. Nice big rotational stretch. Okay, bring it all the way back. We're going to do one more. Inhale first, exhale, over you go. Roll the roller away, ear comes down to the mat, and then breathe. And then bring it back and just relax. Bring yourself into a seated position and stretch your legs out long and straight. Just leave the roller somewhere near you. I'm going to use it again. You can choose whether you do or you don't. All right, sitting up nice and tall. Feet are hip width distance apart. Arms are down by your side with your palms to the ceiling. We're going to go into spine stretch. So you want to curve your spine here and scoop your tummy muscles. So sitting tall, gently tuck your chin to your chest. Pull your tummy muscles backwards and scoop your belly. Keep that scoop. Slide your hands forwards, bringing your chin towards your knees. You're not going to get it there. Then slide your hands back up, sit up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders, nice broad shoulders. You're going to go again. Breathe in first. Tuck the chin to the chest. Round the spine backwards. Breathe out as you curl forwards. Come forwards and stretch yourself out. Slide your hands back and sit up nice and tall. Shoulders are away from your ears. You're going to go again. Gentle tuck of the chin to the chest. Round the spine backwards. Breathe out as you curl forwards for me. And then come all the way back up. We're going to do one more. And we're going to hang out down there. So breath in. Chin to chest, curl forwards, come forwards as far as you can. You're going to hold on to maybe your calves, maybe you can reach your ankles today, maybe you can reach the soles of your feet or your toes, and just hang there and stretch. Should feel good, should feel that nice stretch all the way through your back and your legs. One more breath here, then let go of whatever it is you're able to hold on to, come back to the top and rest for a second. Grab your foam roller, if you want to use it, and put it at the end of your feet. So your feet are touching the roller, but they're not holding the roller. Sit up nice and tall and bring your hands across, hands resting on your shoulders if you can. If it bothers you, put your hands across your chest. Sitting up tall, moving to the left first, take a breath in and breathe out to twist yourself towards the left, without your feet and that roller moving, and then twist yourself around towards the right. Okay, alternating sides. As you twist, your legs are still. Try not to let them move. As you twist, it's an exhale breath. The roller is going to give you some feedback. If you feel your feet pushing on that roller, then your hips are moving. What I want you to do is ground down on the leg that you're twisting towards. So as you twist, gently push down on the foot that you're twisting towards. Nice long breaths. Exhaling as you twist and return through the center. Okay, we're going to do one more each way. Breathe in, breathe out, twist yourself around. Come through the middle. Last one to the other side. When you're in the center, lower your arms down, give your shoulders a bit of a roll. You're going to roll them one way, and then you're going to roll them the other way. Okay, we're going to slide the roller out towards the side. And just get it out of the way for me. And then sort of scoot yourself forwards so your feet are off of the edge of your mat. If you've got a mat. Feet are off the edge of the mat. We're going to roll down just once. Arms are on the horizontal, sitting tall. Take a breath in, tuck your chin to your chest and roll yourself down onto the mat. As you go down, you're going to take your arms to the ceiling and you're going to circle your arms around and you're going to bring them down by your side. Okay, you're going to keep your arms wider than your mat, so about a 45-degree angle out from your hips. You're just going to make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. So that might mean you need to lift yourself up and do a bit of a wriggle so your shoulders are away from your ears. You're going to bend your knees and bring your feet towards your heels. We're going to do side to side. You could do side to side with your legs in a bowl. That would be fine. You can do side to side with your legs down as well. That would also be fine. We're going to go into a bit of a stretch in that manner later. Otherwise, we're going to start with our legs in tabletop. So our tummy muscles are switched on. We're going to take a breath in and breathe out to lift our leg up. We're going to do another breath in and breathe out to bring the second leg up. We're going to touch our knees and feet together. We've gently engaged our arms into the floor. We're going to move to the left side first. We're going to take a breath in and breathe out to let your knees and feet go to the left just as far as you can without your shoulder lifting off of your mat. You're going to slowly pull through the centre and you're going to go to the right. Knees are still touching each other. Your hip will lift. Your shoulder stays in the mat. So you're going to alternate sides in your own time. I want you to be going slowly with control. It's easy to roll through this. I want you to control the movement. Arms, use them. Gently engage them into your mat. Breathe. Let the breath help you. It's always designed to help you. Tummy muscles stay switched on. Knees are staying touching each other. Feet are staying touching each other. Rest if you want to have a rest. We're going to do 2 more each way. Shoulders stay connected to the mat. Your hip will lift. You get that nice rotation through the bottom part of your body. Come through the centre and over to the other side. Okay, you can do 1 more each way. I want you to make sure that you finish on your right side. Breathing in as you come through the middle. Exhale. Wherever you go. Inhale. Use those tummy muscles to pull yourself back. You've got 1 more to the other side. Over you go. When you're back in the middle, you're going to pause and you're going to lower 1 leg down at a time with control. Keep your knees and feet touching. Drop both of your knees to the left and then look over your right shoulder. And just hang there. Big rotational stretch. Your knees come right down to the ground, looking over your right shoulder, taking some nice big deep breaths. Let's change sides. Squeeze your knees through the middle. Tummy muscles are switched on. Your knees are going over to the right. Your gaze goes over your left shoulder. Let those knees drop right over. Hang there and breathe. Nice big deep breaths. We're going to do 1 more each way. Squeeze the knees in the middle. Take them over. Drop them to the left hand side. Take the gaze to the right hand side. Hang there and breathe. Okay, we've got 1 more. Squeeze the knees through the centre. Drop them over to the right. Take the gaze over the left. And breathe. And then pull yourself into the centre and rest. We're going into some book openings. So you're going to roll onto your side. Wiggle yourself around so you're comfortable. Cradle your head in on your arm. Have your knees bent. You could have your head on a pillow. Your arm could be straight. It's entirely up to you. But your chin is up off of your chest, so you're looking across the room. Your knees are glued together. I've stuck some super glue between them. They're not going to move. Your hips are still. They're going to stay stable and still, so you're not going to let them tip backwards. Your top arm comes on the floor in front of you and your arm is long. Reach the arm out. Nice long breaths here, team. We're going to start with just to the ceiling. Take a breath in, breathe out to bring your arm to the ceiling. Your gaze is going to follow your hand for me. And then bring your hand back down to the floor. Inhale first. Exhale, arm comes to the ceiling. Gaze follows your hand. And then bring your hand back down to the floor. Okay, we're going to move into rotation. So your arm comes to the ceiling and you're rotating further back. Your knees are still. Your hips are still. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling. And bring it all the way back to the floor. Okay, we're going to do that again. Inhale first. Exhale, arm comes to the ceiling. Move into your rotation. Keep your knees nice and still. Long arm, bring it to the ceiling. And bring it all the way back to the floor. And the next one, I want you to think about your shoulder blade. As you bring your arm to the ceiling and your arm goes backwards, that shoulder blade of yours glides into the middle of your spine. Your hips are not moving. And then bring your arm to the ceiling and all the way back to the floor. Okay, we've got 2 to go. Inhale first, exhale, back you go. Bottom part of your body is still, it's not moving. You're just rotating your spine through the top half. And then bring it to the ceiling and back to the floor. On the last one, we're going to hang in that stretch, but we've got to get there first. So breathe in, breathe out to go back. Go as far as you can without your knees moving. And at that point, let your knees drop apart a bit so you can get the arm further down towards the ground. And then just stay there. Wherever you can get to, that's where you're going to stay. Still taking those nice big deep breaths. Okay, before you come back, gently engage your knees. Tummy muscles are switched on. Take a breath in. Breathe out to bring your arm to the ceiling and bring it all the way back to the floor. Okay, we're going to turn you around on the other side. Be careful as you move around. We don't want you to get dizzy. I've had you on the lying down for quite a bit there, so flip yourself around. Same position. Head's resting in on your arm. Gazes across the room. Knees are bent. Feet are tucked behind you. Hand comes out on the floor in front of you. Knees are squeezed together. Going to take a breath in. We're going to breathe out as we bring our arm just to the ceiling, and we're going to watch our hand. Gaze follows it. And then we're bringing it down to the floor. Going to go again. Inhale first. Exhale, arm comes to the ceiling. Gaze follows. And bring it back to the floor. Okay, we're going to move into some rotation. So you're going to bring the arm to the ceiling and you're going to rotate further back. You're keeping your knees squeezed together. And then you're going to lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it all the way back to the floor. Okay, we're going to go again. Breathe in first, breathe out, bring the arm to the ceiling. Move into your rotation. Knees are squeezed together. Lengthen your arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. Okay, we're thinking about shoulder blade in the next one. As the arm goes to the ceiling and you move into a rotation, the shoulder blade glides into the middle of your spine. And then lengthen the arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. Okay, we've got 2 to go. Inhale first. Exhale, arm goes to the ceiling. Move into your rotation. Knees are still stable. Lengthen the arm to the ceiling and bring it back to the floor. Okay, last one, we're going to hang out there. Inhale first, exhale, arm goes to the ceiling, go as far as you can, and when you find that point, that is where your knees will slip apart. Arm's going to get further to the ground, and you're just going to stay there and stretch. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, one more breath. Then squeeze your knees together, engage your abdominals, bring your arm to the ceiling, and bring it all the way back to the floor. Gently roll onto your back for me. And let's slide the left leg out long and straight and bring the right leg to tabletop. Put your right hand on the floor next to you, a bit wider than your mat, and put your left hand on the outside of your knee and gently pull your knee across your body. You want to keep your shoulders on the mat. So you're not going too far, that you feel your shoulder lifting. Nice big deep breaths. Okay. Come back through the center and then slide the leg out long and straight. Change sides. Left leg comes up, left hand goes out on the mat wider than the mat, left arm goes out wider than the mat, and then right hand on the knee and over you go. Shoulders stay connected to the mat and breathe. Nice big deep breaths. Okay, one more breath. Bring the leg back to the center and lower it down. Bend your knees, have your feet hip width distance apart, and bring your arms back down by your side. Revisit your body scan. Start at the top and work your way down. How do your head, neck and shoulders feel? Are more of your shoulders touching the mat? How does your rib cage area feel? Do you feel that more of your ribs are in connection to the mat? How does your lower back feel? Do you feel like your lower back is closer to the mat now? There's less space there. Hips. Well, else we don't want wider hips. Do they feel a little bit more relaxed? Arms. How do they feel? Is more of your arms touching the mat? Are your arms feeling a little bit longer? Do your shoulders feel broader and wider? And even your feet. How do they feel? What's touching and what isn't touching? Okay, we're going to come up to sitting. You can sit yourself up, or you can come with me and do an assisted roll up. If you're coming with me, you're going to float one leg to 90 degrees and hold it there. And take a breath in, bring the second leg to join it. You should be in a neutral spine here, the arch underneath your back. Hands come in underneath your knees, your arms are straight. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to tuck your chin to your chest. You're going to push your feet away from you, and you're going to roll yourself up. And then you're just going to sit. You're going to sit for a second and make sure you don't feel dizzy. We don't want to move you too quickly. If you're feeling dizzy, you're going to stay here until you're not feeling dizzy. If you're feeling okay, you're going to come up to standing with me. I'm going to come up to standing, and we're going to stand with our feet hip width distance apart. We're just going to stand nice and tall. We're going to relax your arms. So you're going to take, let's go right hand to the top of your left arm. You're going to use your fingers and your thumb to massage your arm. So you're going to massage the front and the back. You're going to gently squeeze the arm. You're not going to hurt yourself, but you're going to put a bit of oomph into it. Technical word there, oomph. So you're squeezing front to back. You'll feel the muscles in there, a bit of bone in there. Gently working your way around through the arm. Not so much you're hurting yourself, but you want to massage the muscles and you want to massage the fascia in there. You're going to work your way down towards your elbow. Same thing, front and back, a little bit of a massage. And then you're coming down towards and through your forearm. So you're going to massage your forearm. You're using your fingers and your thumb, squeezing gently, not hurting yourself. Note how tight that forearm may or may not be. Down to your wrist. And then finally into the palm of your hand. So you're going to massage your hand. Okay. Then you're going to take your fingers to the top of your arm and you're going to brush your arm, same arm, from top to bottom. And you can do that about 5 times. You might feel a bit of light tingling feeling in your fingertips. That's perfectly normal. You're going to do 2 more. One last one. And then you're just going to let your arms hang. Let them hang and feel the difference. So you may well feel that your left arm feels longer. Certainly should feel much more relaxed. Really simple exercise helps relax the arm muscles. Okay, we'll do your right side. So left hand comes to the top of the right arm and start with a massage. So we've massaged the muscles and fascia in our arms. We do that with our foam rollers on our legs. We do that with our foam rollers on our backs. We sometimes forget about our actual arms themselves. You can do this anywhere. You can do this anytime. Work your way through the front and the back. Gently squeezing. Don't hurt yourself, but give it some oomph. You can do it to other people. It's a nice thing to do to other people, but be forewarned, they'll want you to do it all the time. Work your way down towards your elbow, and then you'll slowly come through that forearm. Nice big deep breaths. Keep massaging through them, front and back. Don't hurt yourself. Now note how tight this forearm feels. My right forearm is way tighter than my left. It's a stronger muscle and I use it a lot more and it's much, much tighter. I can feel more muscle in there. Working down to the wrist and then finally into the palm. Gentle squeeze, front and back. Okay, you're going to take your fingers to the top of that arm. You've got 5 brushes, top to bottom. Fingertip touch brush, nice and light and gentle. Again, you might get that little bit of a feeling of tingling sensation in your fingers. That's pretty normal. Top to bottom. Okay, you've got 2 to go. Top to bottom. Last one. Let your arms hang. Both arms should feel nice and relaxed. You now have ragdoll arms. We're going to roll up and down with our ragdoll arms. Feet are hip width. Standing tall to begin with. Imagine you're standing against a wall. You're going to peel your spine off of it. Take a breath in. Gently tuck your chin to your chest. And down you go. You are going to roll down. And those ragdoll arms of yours, they are just hanging off of their sockets. Pause at the bottom. Take a breath in. Lead with the tailbone. Tuck the tailbone under. Roll your spine back up. Come up to standing nice and tall. Check that you don't feel dizzy or lightheaded. Breath in. Chin to chest. Down you go. Breathe that all the way down. One long breath as you go down. Let your arms hang at the bottom. Inhale there. Tailbone tucked, scoop to the belly, and slowly coming back up. You're going to come up to stand nice and tall. You're going to double check with each one of these that you're not feeling dizzy or lightheaded. If you feel dizzy, you're staying there. Otherwise, breath in. Just keep rolling yourself up and down. Haven't lost sight of that imaginary wall that you are peeling your spine off of as you go all the way down. You're letting your arms hang. You'll pause at the bottom. You lead with your tailbone. So you're tucking your tailbone under. You're working up through your lower back. You're working up through each of those 12 ribs for me. You're standing nice and tall. When your head touches the imaginary wall, we're going to do 2 more. Inhale first. Tuck the chin to the chest. Down you go. Long breath out for me. Arms are just hanging, peeling down off of your imaginary wall. Pause at the bottom. Tailbone tucked. Scoot through the belly. Up you come bit by bit. You're going to stand nice and tall. We're going to do 1 more. On the last one, we're going to hang out there. Breath in. Chin to chest. Down you go. 1 long breath out all the way down if you can. When you get down there, hold there. Eyes are open. Let your arms circle. So just circle your arms around. Let your arms hang out of that shoulder socket joint. Okay, change the direction of your arms. Go the other way. Nice big deep breaths. Eyes are staying open. Pause. Arms nice and still. Take a breath in. Breathe out to roll back up to the top. When you get to the top, you're going to stand upright for a second and you're just going to stay right there. Lovely. You can feel quite lightheaded when you come out of that after hanging out down there. Arms down by your side. Gently come up onto your tippy toes and lift your heels up off of the ground. And then slowly lower them down. Okay, you're going to go again. Breath in. Breathe out. Come up onto your tippy toes. And slowly lower down. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Onto your tippy toes. And slowly lower. Got 1 to go. Onto your tippy toes. And slowly lower. We're going to add some arms. Take a breath in. Breathe out. Come onto your tippy toes. Take your arms out towards the side. Take your arms right up towards the ceiling like you're going to touch the ceiling. Make your arms really long and slowly lower your heels. Going to go again for me. Inhale first. Exhale, up you come. Onto your tippy toes. Arms floating out towards the side. Take those arms right up towards the ceiling. And then slowly down. We've got 1 left. Inhale first. Exhale. Nice. And slowly lower. Couple of rolls of the shoulders. You're going to roll them in one direction. You're going to roll them in the other direction. Hope you enjoyed that session, team. Remember, you can use the class for up to 7 days on and off. You might choose to do certain sections of the class. I might think that little bit was nice. I want to go back and revisit that bit. You know where to find me if you have any queries or concerns. Enjoy the class, and I'll see you all soon. Bye now.